I'm Tom from Pack Hacker, and in this video, we're taking a detailed look at the Minaal Carry-On 3.0 that I've been testing over the course of the last 3 weeks. This bag is designed with the digital nomad and remote worker in mind, and I think there are plenty of features that do a great job at hitting that mark. It's also an improvement on the previous 2.0 version for reasons that I'll get into in this video. That being said, there are a couple of nitpicks I still have with this bag, the big one being with the water bottle pocket. So all that and more coming up in this video. Let's get right into it. But first, head over to packhacker.com for more information. Link down below. You can have that open and follow along with this video. Let's dive in. So the main fabric on the outside of this bag is a 600D Picton fabric. And this picks up less dust and lint than the previous version. If you go take a look at our quick hit on the Minaal Daily original versus the 3.0 version, it does a lot better with lint and dust. This is better, although you still can see some marks that have developed. That's going to be standard with most black bags. 600D is that main fabric, and then we have 1200D Picton on the bottoms here as well. So that's going to be in, you can see it here. This is the higher denier. That's in the areas that, are prone to more abrasion. So added that to add a little bit of durability. Definitely appreciate those little tweaks. And on the front, really not a ton going on, which I really like. I think this is one of those bags that looks hyper slick even when it's full. And I think part of that has to do with the rounded corners here. Then you can see this rounded top area. So it still looks really sleek when you're wearing it, even when it's fully packed out. A lot of other bags can look kind of like a box on your back, but not the case here with the Minaal. Now let's just kick it off with one of my least favorite parts of this bag, which is the water bottle pocket. And no matter how I get my Yeti Rambler in here, it always seems to come out of the side. So basically you have this kind of bungee cord like we pulled up in the last one. This one, the last video, the 2.0, this top part actually came off of my friend Roberto's, who had been testing his for 8 months. You just have this kind of thin bungee cord, and it kind of locks the water bottle in, but this has fallen out during my weeks of testing. This has fallen out a couple of times. Now it is a Yeti Rambler, the stainless steel. If you have a lighter bottle, it might do better in here. But for me, it's just constantly falling out. And even with this thing on there, that bungee, it still just doesn't grip it in correctly. Now, I know that one of the changes here is that there's some elastic material at the bottom so it can accommodate different size bottles. If it's not posted already, we're going to compare the Minaal Carry-On 2.0 versus this newer 3.0 version and go over the details there. So check that out, but I just wanted to bring this up now that it seems like they tried to improve this, and I appreciate the effort, but it's just still, for me at least, not quite there. And, there's gusseted fabric, so you can fit in different sides, but there's no elastic up here at the top that can lock things in. You just have this bungee that's lackluster, in my opinion, and through my experience. But that's my least favorite part of the bag. So the rest is overall pretty positive. So let's keep moving on here. We've got these G-hook compression straps on the sides. One of the things that I really like that they took into consideration here is if this bag is full, you just don't need these. So you clip it onto here. It doesn't obstruct any of these zippers, but if you want to compress it down, then you can put it past the zippers and really pull it down. And this thing actually works. It actually compresses. And it still stays minimal. I mean, you don't have strap keepers, or there's no little area to kind of tuck this in, so that's going to be flapping around, but not by much. And considering it's the only straps on the sides that are going to be flapping like that, I think that's totally fine. So again, not much on this side, very minimal. Got the water bottle pocket on this side, and we've got this handle here as well if you want to carry the bag. Now I do have this filled up with some gear, and you can see that shape, how it's being pulled. So some bags will put in like an aluminum stay right here just so the bag keeps its shape. Not the case here with the Minaal. So you do get that kind of crinkly look when you carry it briefcase style. But to mitigate that a little bit, these are mounted at an angle here to kind of balance out the weight. So if it was straight, you know, and if it was mounted in the middle, that'd be fine. But since it's cheated over to the left side a little bit, this is angled in at the mount, which then gives you kind of a more balanced centered carry, briefcase style. Same compression strap action over here. Yeah, it's kind of a metal aluminum material G-hook, which I do like. All right, now let's get on to the harness system. So this opens up. I mean, everything's hidden here, which I like. So if you need to check the bag, you're good to go. Just to note, every zipper on this bag is a YKK zipper, which I really appreciate. And then some of them are lockable as well. So at the top here, that's great for travel. Throw a little TSA approved lock between those two loops you can see here at the top, and you've got a secured bag. So pulling this open reveals the harness system, which I like. Now, one of the things with this is you have to roll, get this on screen here, big bag, roll this up and kind of tuck it under. And this is one thing that we brought up with the 2.0 that we didn't really love either, is there's really no way to kind of secure that, but it does stay pretty secure like that after you roll it up, and you don't really need to tweak anything. It does feel nice. I remember on the original 2.0 version, I said this kind of stuck into your back, but didn't really notice it quite as much with the 3.0, so maybe there was some tweaking there to the design. The one thing I still don't like either is that kind of these zippers are sticking out, but this is just kind of like a personal preference, almost like a pet peeve. I don't think it makes that big of a difference. Whereas, you know, with the water bottle pocket, I think the functionality is clearly affected, but with this, it's just you got a zipper out in the open that no one's really ever going to see because it's on your back. But that's just something to note. Kind of a little like nitpick there from me, but not really worth being a full-on con. Now, what you're going to see here on the top of the straps are you've got like a little identifier number there with the Minaal, and then they give you the measurements here, and it's still kind of hard to see with that black on black text, but you have them here. And basically what this is to do is you can prove to the gate agent or the TSA agent of the size of your bag. Now, they're usually going to have their own little cubby, or they're going to use their own discretion to decide whether or not your bag is able to be carried on. But, you know, this might help a little bit if you can flash that, stick that down. It is black on black text, so it does stay minimal unless you're looking for it. But that being said, it is a little bit hard to read. Now, these straps here are for load lifters. I really love these. So you can see that was lying flat and really zipped up in there. But when we add the load lifters up here at the top with these magnetic buckles, these stick out a little bit, and that just gives you a much more comfortable carry. So if you're whipping around with this thing at the airport, that's probably how it's going to look usually going to be kind of sticking out like that, but it's well worth it for comfort. You get this adjusted on your back just like you'd want to, and well worth it in my opinion. Top handle here, you got some padding in between this soft seatbelt like material, so I think that's great. That's perfect. The sternum strap here, I know I said we were going to do the full comparison here with the 2.0 in another video, but I just wanted to talk about the sternum strap too and how there's some improvements here. So this buckle actually got a little bit smaller. So if you go back and look at our YouTube video that we posted on the 2.0, one of our complaints was that this sternum strap was bulky, and they took that feedback or heard that feedback from other people as well and made it a smaller and skinnier buckle. So it's more minimal, which I appreciate. And then you've still got this kind of female receiving buckle up here at the top where you can strap that in just to kind of manage the sternum strap a little bit so it's not flailing all over the place. And then this one as well is, you know, there's not a bunch of excess strap, which I like. So that one just stays really nicely there. Buckles by ITW, which is a great little brand that makes plastic hardware. So I like that. It's also got the rail adjustment, which is one of our favorite styles of sternum strap adjustment because it's really easy to lock in fast. You don't have to, you know, take anything off and futz with it, and it's just always there, which we appreciate. The straps themselves, dense padding, very comfortable to wear this bag, which is important for a travel backpack. So I do love that. And nice and spongy, nice and dense. Feels really good. You've got like a little loop here if you want to throw a carabiner on there or something. Attach something to your front, you can totally do that. And then this is looped as well, but obviously that's a little bit thicker. So you have that buckle to store the sternum strap. And I'm just going to do that right now. Just get it out of the way a little bit. No like elastic keeper to manage this excess flailing strap, but you could throw some Velcro on there if you wanted to. And like I said, it is thinner than the prior version, so it's not quite as much dangling strap. Now you do have strap keepers down here, this little elastic piece, so that helps keep that managed. Plastic adjustment buckles down here, nothing too crazy, pretty standard, but it just gets the job done, and it's a very comfortable harness system as well. Attachment for a hip belt, which for a bag of 35 liters, your mileage may vary whether or not you need it, but they do have a nice padded, robust hip belt. It's not like a waist strap with strap like this. It's more like an actual hip belt that distributes load like this, you know, where it's a little bit spongier, a little bit thicker. So don't have that on right now, but that is an attachment point, and it is good as well. No air mesh back here for breathability, but they have kind of some of these foam cut-ins, which can help with breathability a bit. Your back's going to get sweaty no matter what when wearing a backpack. That air mesh does help with breathability, but you know, not a ton. If you're sweating and you're running around Thailand, air mesh is going to maybe save you 5 or 10 minutes, depending on the climate, of not being sweaty. This is a new addition as well on this 3.0 versus 2.0. There's a security pocket back here, and if I'm going to draw this out, the top of my hand is about here. So Minaal recommends using, surprise, surprise, a wallet that they sell inside of here. Of course, they're going to recommend that, but you can throw a passport back here, wallet, extra currency, just anything you don't want people to have access to, because when you're wearing this on your back, you can't really access that zippered compartment here. So love that security pocket. Minaal's wallet can go in there, or else your own, as long as it's on the flatter side of things. Other than that, I mean, not a ton going on the outside of this bag. Just a very nice, clean, minimalistic design, which I appreciate. I realized I didn't talk about this. These are the Hypalon zipper grab points, which are nice. You just throw your hand on there, nice and grippy in the hand, and you can easily zip and unzip as well. Let's get on to the inside of the pack. I'm also going to talk about this rain zipper down here at the bottom, or this rain fly. So this right here at the bottom comes with an included rain fly, so you can pull that out if you want, and then wrap this around the bag. I'm not going to do that. It fits snugly. It fits more snugly than the 2.0, and it's good if you get caught in a very heavy downpour as well. But you can unclip it here with this buckle too. So that just kind of folds out. You put it over the bag, and then you're good to go. The fabric itself does have some inherent weather resistance to it. Probably you're going to be okay in a sprinkle or in a heavier downpour for maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. But if you need to be outside, or you want to be outside for longer, make sure to pop on that rain fly. Now, the one thing that I want to talk about inside of the main compartment is that rain fly can cut a little bit into this scoop side packing. And that's what I was saying about just like having a couple nitpicks on the interior of this bag as well, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So let's go right into the laptop compartment back here. Now I do have, so this just got blocked, as you can see, because I had that in compression mode. But if I just pull that off, store it there, don't want it compressed, that can open right up. And this comes out and lays completely flat, which I think also is a big upgrade on the previous version that just had kind of a half zip to the side. You can really get access to everything inside and see everything that's going on. So I love the device nest. It is great for, laptop or tablet. Let me grab my 15-inch laptop real quick. It's just on the side here, but I'll just quickly show you how that pops in. They did make this wider too, so it does accommodate 16-inch MacBook Pros and larger computers, but I love that. It just sticks right in. This is like my favorite part of this bag, and this is one of my favorite laptop carrying solutions that I've ever seen, which is great. I mean, this bag is really meant for the remote worker and digital nomad, and I think they knocked it out of the park when it comes to laptop protection, because if your livelihood is on this little rectangle, you want to keep that protected. So you're able to adjust this based on the sizing. So I think, so I put mine for the 15-inch, I put it through these first 2 loops, but you can make it even larger if you have a bigger laptop as well. On the side here too, so you just kind of thread this through, and then you'd have this strap hold the laptop closer in. And then you've got this separate partition here. You could throw like a notebook in there, but primarily it's for like a tablet, and that just keeps things centered. So if you end up dropping your bag on the side or the top or the bottom or this side, that laptop is going to be as centered as possible within the bag, so it just absorbs that shock on the side. So all your other gear is going to hit and the bag's going to hit before your laptop does. And it's got, you know, pretty decent frame sheet in it. It is some flex, but it's not, you know, you got some padding there and some space if you end up dropping this or somebody else drops it that you're with. Let's pop that back in. So big improvement here, I think, on version 1. That's, I think, one of the biggest improvements that you can see on this. Now, on the other side, we have some organization options here. So there's a little small zipper area at the top. I've just got some cords in there, but the size is pretty much what you see is what you get here. Where the stitching ends is where the pocket ends, and that's about the space you have there. So just had a couple cords up there at the top. I like the amount of organization here too. Like if you want to use pouches and stuff in the main compartment, you can, but there's just a little bit of kind of lie flat organization back here as well. Little buckle here that I've just got like a Kindle inside of, but if I show you, I gotta get this water bottle out of here real quick. It's gonna fall and make a huge noise. Inside of here, you know, you got this big empty space. So if you just want to slide in like any documents or a notebook, you could do that. And then you've got a smaller pocket up here. So it's about passport size. So I've just got some field notes that I throw in there, and that's right in at the top. So a little bit of organization there. Not quite as much organization as they've done with the Minaal Daily, but I think that's fine, especially when you have kind of these open pockets here that aren't zippered, and you start putting in a bunch of smaller items. They can kind of start to slide all over the place and just not stay locked in there at all. So that covers kind of this tech area in the back. And then I'm just gonna zip this back up, and then we're gonna open up the scoop side of the bag to show you how things inside can pack. So let me just zip that. But actually first, let's go over the front pockets. So this curved spot up here has these two front pockets. So you have two front dump pockets here, which I like. These zippers are far enough apart to where you can tell them apart quite nicely. If you really wanted to hack it, you could throw on like your own colored zipper pulls and know that like red is the top, yellow is the bottom. But I think they've done a good job at spacing this out. You can see up here it gets a little crowded with all these zipper pulls. So I was kind of just getting confused there about which one to open to get into the scoop, but you'll get used to it as you use the bag for longer. Kind of a top drop tray pocket up here at the top. Just got some like daily items that I use inside. I'm just gonna pull them out. Here, I was on a road trip, so I've got this Anchor adapter there for the car. Now, at the top here, you've got this mesh pocket here. So that's a really small YKK zipper. You pull that open, and there's a little key ring there too. So although this logo is now white, they still hold on to that blue here with that key clip. Plenty of space on the inside, mesh partition in the middle for that pocket with that key clip, and then just, yeah, ample space there. So I'll just zip that back up, and then we'll pop into this top pocket too. So I've got just a battery bank in here, but it can hold so much more in that top pocket. Let's see if I can get the camera here is getting a little tight, but that's kind of a really big shell, like brain area up here at the top. I mean, I could probably stick my like rain shell in here too if you really want to start getting it optimized. And that the bottom of that pocket goes to here. So that's kind of the bigger volume of the two. Whatever you have packed inside of the main scoop area is going to cut into this pocket, but it is amply sized, and I even fit like a bigger moleskin notebook about maybe 2 or 3 times the size of the field notes notebook that you saw earlier. That can fit in there as well. So flatter items work. They don't just have to be curved to go around that scoop. Love that. It can never get enough quick access pockets when traveling, just to keep everything handy. So really appreciate the design there. Let me open up these YKK zippers. And actually, you know what? The best way to do this, to open this main pocket, is to start it facing this way, because you pack what they like to call scoop side. So let's flip this open. Got my laptop in here, so it's pretty hefty on the back. And then boom, look at all this beautiful spread of organization going on. We've got the Eagle Creek Spectre cubes inside of here just to give you an idea of what can fit inside. We've got the medium, small, small. And that just kind of creates like a nice flat layer you can see inside of that scoop. Then we still have some objects over here. So you could probably stack it out with more of these, just depending on how full your packing cubes are. And of course, Minaal sells packing cubes that you can use as well. I like the Spectre cubes. They're some of our top-rated packing cubes on the website. And Eagle Creek's always coming out with more there, so that's kind of nice. Now, this is what I'm talking about. So if you have this top part full of stuff, that's going to cut into your scoop, so you can see that fabric. Let me get this stuff off the frame here. Kind of bugging me. You can see it on the corner. All right, thank you. Bear with me. I'm back. All right, so yeah, you can see that kind of excess fabric here, and if you have a bunch of stuff in those pockets, that's going to cut into this scoop side. And we can also see that rain cover here. Now, I didn't put it in with the utmost absolute care, but you can see that it is taking up space on the bottom here. So I do like that they offer that clip. So I'm going to pull it out, unclip it here, and I will just set that off to the side as well. And you can see that magically we now have a ton more room on this scoop side. So, you know, up to you whether or not that's going to be worth it to keep in there. If you are going into a rainy climate, I'd recommend keeping it. But if not, you can probably get by without, you know, especially if you're in a city and there are roofs around, you can pull that out. But I do like that Minaal is thinking about that. And again, like if you're a digital nomad or a remote worker, you got to protect your tech, which means you need weather resistance, which means you want access to that rain fly if it ends up raining somewhere and you got to protect your gear. So love that they're thinking through the use case of how this bag would be used, seemingly at every single corner. But yeah, scoop side, I like that that opens on this side. The other thing I will say is that it's not super structured on the sides. So packing cubes are awesome for putting in here because it's just, you know, you throw one down, throw two down, and you're good to go. But if you're like trying to get a bunch of loose clothing in here, these sides are kind of, you know, you're trying to constantly get everything inside. So I'd highly recommend packing cubes with this kind of a layout. And then on this side, we have these pockets which have some dimension to them as well. So they can lie flat here if there's not much inside, but you can see kind of the dimension these things can get if you want to put items in there that are a little bit more bulky. So plenty of excess fabric there. Just got like a couple snack items, cords, things like that inside of this pocket. Nothing too crazy there, but just want to show you really how amply sized that pocket is. So you could probably even throw like your socks and underwear in here if you wanted those underneath this little like privacy liner material. And by the way, the liner feels really nice in the hand. It feels more robust than 2.0, a little less swishy, and it's a little more matte, a little less shiny too. And then you've got up here at the top a mesh pocket, so you can kind of see through what's going on the inside. I've just got like, you know, notebook in here and buff and gloves just to kind of show you what can fit inside, but definitely could fit a lot more in there too. You got some dimensionality here with that excess fabric as well. So I'm going to zip these up. We have these nylon loops here for the Minaal shirt protector. So if you want to carry their shirt protector, that locks in here. They are stretchy now as well. So they're elasticated. Maybe nylon wasn't the right word to use there. I think they used to use nylon, but now it's this elastic material, which, you know, just adds a little bit more. And yeah, big 10 racket coil zipper there, the YKK. So that's, you know, pretty much the best zipper you can get for luggage. So definitely appreciate they're using that there. So there you have it. That is the Minaal carry-on bag 3.0. Head over to packhacker.com for more information, as well as the best buying options that help support our channel at no additional cost to you. Thanks for keeping here at Pack Hacker, your guide to better gear. We'll see you in the next video.